Chapter 2, Runaway Slaves. Cush lied in his bed asleep, and he felt a tug in his spirit. As the darkness covers him, he hears a loud throat cheering. Opening his eyes, he sees himself in the clothes. He descends towards earth and sees an elderly man marching in front of a military formation. The man marches alone, and behind him, there are 11 people. There were 20 people behind each of them. Behind each 20, there were 200, and behind each group of 200, thousands of people were marching in a unified formation shaped like an enormous pyramid. He sees the great crowd cheering as the elderly man stops, breaks away from the formation, and walks onto a stage. About 70-year-old, the man stands in front of a crowd. Tears roll from his eyes as he speaks. He hears the crowd, "Sabaoth is migiti. Usisahau." The crowd stood up and cheered again. The elderly man waves his hand for the crowd to sit. "Please, sit down. Never forget that we are all migiti warriors of Sabaoth. We're here to die because Sabaoth has called us together to do his work. We are many clans, but today we are finally on a people with on a heart and on a thought." He paused. "Never forget to follow our hearts and not our flesh, because our hearts brought us to where we are on this day, and rejoice, for Sabaoth has brought us out of the darkness. Yes, and united us to fight for freedom, not the freedom of this world but the one to come, and with great power." The crowd roared as he continued. "Never did we know that something was hidden in us all these centuries, in our something not seen but felt within us. It can't be touched, but he can move mountains with it." The elderly took his hands and reached toward the sky, turning his hand into a fire. Cush's alarm went off, awakening him from sleep. He got dressed and rushed to Big Mouth's house. "Morning, Big Mouth!" Cush yelled out as he saw her watering her garden. Big Mouth smiled as he approached. "Morning, Baby. How did you sleep?" Cush smiled. "I slept well, but I dreamed about my great-grandfather. At last, I think it was wanyenyekevu. He was saying something about something. Don't you hate having a dream and can't remember it?" Big Ma went in the house and grabbed something out of a drawer. "Speaking of I got yours some here. I keep up with stuff like that. Here it is." After pulling out a manila folder, she started calling out different names: Jackie, John, Pig, and here we go, Cush. Big Mouth took a seat and opened the folder. "Let's say no, you're 31% Nigeria, 26% Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu people. 10% Senegal, 7% Mali, 7% Benin and Togo. 7% Ireland, 5% Norway, 5% Scotland, 1% Southern Philippines. Which means you are Afro-Asiatic. As in you have some ancestors who settled in Asia. The real Asians, not the modern admixtures. Anyway, 1% England and Northwestern Europe, less than 1% Terre Ivory Coast and Ghana, and less than 1% Egyptian." Cush sighed. "That sounds like a recipe for something. Hold on, less than 1% Egyptian?" Big Mouth laughed. "I'll get into that later, but you need to know that being a Male, your DNA shows more of your father's seeded rotate or chromosome, whereas the female traits more of the mother's chromosome." Big Mouth placed the paper back in the folder and put it back in the drawer. "Anyways, about that dream of yours. You can tell me about your dream later if you remember it. Today is my birthday, as well as the watu sasa kupumzika. Yesterday, I felt some kind of why. A feeling of loneliness and confusion. I have raised my children and a host of grand and great-grandchildren, and none come to visit except you. Kush felt Big Mouth's sadness as he reached in his knapsack and handed her a gift. I'm sorry you felt this way, but this mig cheer you up. Happy birthday. Kush sighed as a big smile lit up Big Mouth's face. Rushing to open the present, she said, "Oh, thank you, child. I love it." A tear fell from her eyes as she looked at the present. It was a hand-carved picture framed with a picture of Sam, Big Mouth, and himself taken years ago on her birthday. I hope you like it. It took me months to finish the frame, and I just wanted you to know. You are me everything. I never hung around people me age. What can I learn from them? All my grandparents have taught me since I was a child. Most me age want to do things that are worthless to me. I want to learn and be wise, just like all. You are me Philippa of Hainault. Me Charlotte of Mecklenburg-Strelitz or Sophia Charlotte. Big Mouth who get Kush, thanks again, son, I love you for just being you. Kush wiped the tears from his eyes. How old are you, Big Mouth? She jokingly sighed, old enough to know better and young enough to know that I don't want to know what I know. No, come on in here, and let me fix us some breakfast. Big Mouth's spirit was lifted as the two sat down, ate a big breakfast, and talked for a bit before she put up the dishes and walked to the living room. No, she leaned back in her husband's favorite chair. The ancient city of New Orleans had undergone a great transformation. It too was once a bubble city before man moved to the bubble city of New York or of world. It had been abandoned for years. The only thing remaining from the actual ancient city was a few untouched islands. They were Marsh, Palmetto, Rand Isle, Breton, Chandeleur, Timbalier, Avery, Avoca, and the Mooreless Island. But it was on the shore of the Mooreless Island that Abooksigun, Boy, and Dung were found unconscious by some runaway slaves. A 20-year-old Somalian man named Shermake and a set of twins, Egyptian sisters named Akunsimbel and Akutukanan were 18 years old. Boy was awoken by them running and was growling at them. Quiet. One of the young ladies sighed as she shouted at Boy. The woman's voice woke the two boys. She was covered in bruises as she and the other two runaways stood over the boys. Dung was afraid as he shouted to Abooksigun, "She is going to kill us." Abooksigun looked at the runaways as he grabbed Boy. "Quiet, Boy. What's going on?" Akunsimbel looked at his clothes. "Where's your village? We are hiding from our captorers, for they can't be too far away." Rubbing his head, he looked around for real. "We are from far away, and it would take a long time to get there." Akutukanan shouted, "We must go, or they will take you as well. Let's go." Dung and Abooksigun rushed off with the group as they ran, but the boys could not keep up. Abooksigun shouted, "We cannot keep up with you guys. We will forget and show the force what they are dealing with." Shermake looked at the boys and laughed, "With what?" Abooksigun got mad, "With what? With the power and might of Sabaoth is with what? We have the power of Sabaoth behind us, and we fear no man." Dung looked at Abooksigun as he quickly translated what was being said. and dung are dead, and the power of Sabaoth is alwened. Abooksigun repeated what Dung had said. Shermake looked at him and said, I have prayed to my ancestors, and of no avail, so you better bring your ass on before they catch up to us. Akunsimbel shouted, we have no time for this, come on. Akutukananu looked at Abooksigun as she noted Abooksigun spoke to Dung and then looked at Akunsimbel and Shermake, we barely understand what Shermake says, let alone your friend. However, you even understand us. How is that? Abooksigun said, a gift from Sabaoth. Everyone understands me entire language when I speak, and I understand all languages and speak them. For Sabaoth's power enlightens us. My friend is Dung. He speaks Vietnamese, Shermake speaks Somali, and you two are Egyptian. Am I not correct? Impressed, Akutukananu said, your friend, what is his gift? Abooksigun looked at Dung. You want to show them what Sabaoth has blessed you with? Dung transformed into a boulder, then a tree. The group was afraid, and Abooksigun said, fear not, for Sabaoth will give you the same gifts. All you have to do is believe in him and have him as a friend, and these gifts and more you will receive. Akutukananu said, I am truly impressed we have gifts and demons too. Abooksigun said, you can't have both, for the two, they don't mix. Sabaoth's gifts are given without forgiveness. The devil cannot give gifts but will take those given gifts that Sabaoth give and use them for himself and against you. Sabaoth wants to use us for God, but the evil only confuses money, and they end up, sometimes, with a reprobate mind. Sabaoth gifts ends up being used by Satan. Akutukananu had a confused look on her face, and Dung tried to ask Abooksigun what she was saying, but Abooksigun looked at Dung, we are in a hurry. I will explain it all later. If they are being chased, we must go with them. Shermake quickly said, yes, we have wasted enough time, let's be on our way. Abooksigun saw a cave ahead of them on a hill and said, let's go there, I have an idea, for we are great hunters and trackers. Let's leave a track showing we swam to the mainland and hide in that cave until they passed. They will think we swam to the mainland, but we will go the opposite way and make it back home. With a look of embarrassment for Abooksigun, the cave. The cave will be the first place they look, sighed Akutukananu. With a smile on his face, Abooksigun sighed. Don't look that way at me. Have you so quickly forgotten his gifts? Dung will make the cave appear to be just the side of a rock, and they will walk around or ignore it. Akunsimbel's stomach growled, that sounds like a brilliant plan. But we need to find something to eat first. Abooksigun agreed, my father is from this place, and I know what we can eat, but we need to see if your captors are close while we hunt for food and well. Dung quickly ran to the top of the hill and climbed a tree. It is clear as the eyes can see, shouted Dung. Abooksigun walked around showing the twins what was edible and what wasn't as he and Shermake hunted for food while Dung and Bobo watched over them. Hours later, they met up at the mouth of the cave. Abooksigun and Shermake had 5 squirrels and a rabbit. The twins gathered plenty of fertile grass, cattails grass, and herbs. Once the cave was inspected, they all entered as Dung and Abooksigun used their weapons the best they could to clean the animals and start a fire. Abooksigun and Dung had a few items in their backpacks. They all enjoyed a splendid meal, and Shermake stood first watch. The following morning, the sisters were whispering amongst each other. "A penny for your thoughts. I guess it can decide here, as well. It's something my parents say." Abooksigun said to the twins. "This about thing you talked about, what is it?" "Hes miled, uho. Sabaoth is the creator of us all. The only God that many gods have tried to duplicate. Men created these gods, but Sabaoth is the only true God for us all." Abooksigun explained, but they were confused. Silence covered the cave for a moment, and suddenly Abooksigun started feeling happy and sad simultaneously as he began to sing to himself. "Trying times brings us much frustration, such aggravation. Who understands our plight? Who can answer the questions why? It's troublesome. Mi misfortune. I'm not ashamed to say, sometimes it feels like I'm going crazy." After finishing the song, he wipes a tear from his eyes. Akutukananu looked at him. "What a beautiful song." Abooksigun smiled. "It's my mother's favorite song, Hold Me, by an old group called Commissioned." Akutukananu smiled. "Just beautiful, but we worship our ancestors, who guided us from evil. We should we trust your God. You and your people have been followed in this country for many centuries. You guys are ashamed of your natural hair and try to look like your oppressors, but your oppressors mimic your lifestyle and culture. You guys are just backward." Abooksigun looked at her. "We honor our ancestors. We don't worship them. Plus, that was way back when we were people with no name, culture, or identity and were given surnames or government names because if we did know our clan or our real name, there would not be any American history. This government took control over our lives, and we were called Negros, Niggers, and later we took a curse and made it into a blessing by calling ourselves nigga. We learned our history and started using negus, spelled negus, pronounced negus, which means king. It's an Ethiopian Semitic language, a mixture of Italian, French, Greek, Arabic, and Spanish. Again, it took us 400 years to awaken out of our sleep. Other cultures saw it as well. It was emphasized by an Asian billionaire, when an Asian rises, all Asians rise. But when a black person rises, only that black person rises. So, I'm not offended by what you said or how you said it. I remember my father had us all watch a movie called Roots, a classic movie that depicted the life of the author's ancestors during slavery. It spotlighted the brutality and violent history of the transatlantic slave trade, rabid colonialism, and the sadistic mindset of the men and women who orchestrated the system and grew wealthy from it. A young hunter tried to escape his captivity. He was hunted down and dragged back in chains and a yoke collar, like less than an animal. An animal would have fared better. Shermake got irritated, and Akunsimbel looked at Shermake as he walked away. Abooksigun wasn't concerned. "I don't care who has a problem with misreading knowledge because he feels the same way he feels toward people who live their lives in ignorance." Shermake heard Abooksigun. "Foolishness, you speak foolishness." Abooksigun shook his head, saying a 10-year-old boy turned into a boulder to close a cave is not proof of Sabaoth's mighty power. You tell me, what is foolish? Your disbelief or me belief? Abooksigun turned back toward the twins, as he was saying. Kunta Kinte was hung up on gallows ropes, his shirt stripped off, and a gathering of all the slaves was called to watch. The motive for demanding them to say this sadistic act was part of Making Wakatilian's trauma-based, mind-controlled slaves. Kunta understood, on some level, what they were trying to do and tried to resist the efforts to break him. He had been taught in Africa that a lot was in a name. A child's future, destiny, success, individual power, and honor were defined in their parents' name at birth, particularly their mothers. Bloodline and generational continuity were dependent on a powerful name. The child was given two names, his public name, and the name attached to his soul and spirit. The public one, al-kneo. The private one, only the parents and creator, and their individualism and right of self-determination were in the name he was given. White slave traders made it their business to be acquainted with African traditions. Knowing the weaknesses and strengths of your captive and potential money maker was important. It was the key to remaking them into the model slave they wanted them to be. And so, they took the strongest and the most rebellious slaves, mainly males, who gave hope to the rest by their resistance and made examples of them. They took the best of us who resisted and broke them as you would a horse or mule. The idea was to show that the strongest of us could not protect the rest, and the best could only hope to use that skill to promote with a collective power. Kunta and slaves like him who ran away threatened that power structure and wield to with America. Kunta was brought back in chains to humiliate him. They dragged him through the mud to degrade him. He was hung before all to be made a spectacle of and beaten by one of his own, a divide and conquer strategy. The lashes from the leather whip produced unimaginable pain administered for the greatest torture effect. The loud crack of the whip struck flesh, leaving gaping wounds in its retreat. The screams of agony with each lash would forever leave an imprint in the minds and souls of all who watched. The sound of trauma resonated through time to be etched into future generations' consciousness and genetic memory. The agony of the abuse left an imprint in the recipient's genes, whose children would on a day manifest it in physical and emotional disorders they couldn't explain, behavior out of character, and self-loathing or aggressive reactions they couldn't explain. Far from the shores of his African homeland, Kunta remembered in his genetics the naming ceremony to seal his future by his mother Binta and his father Omaru Kinte of the clan Kinte. And so, he tried to hold on to the only thing of them he had left, his name. The only thing he could hope to pass on to his future generations. From Kunta Kinte's time till the present, there were many greats among us, both big and small, like Louis Farrakhan, Francis Marion Boyer, and Ludwig Nichols, who have gotten us to where we are now. Nichols, born into slavery in Tennessee, escaped and served the 23 Indiana Infantry Regiment as a nurse throughout the Civil War. After the war, she moved north with the veterans from her regiment to Indiana. When she applied for her pension, they had no record of her being a slave, and they denied her retirement. 55 surviving veterans of the 23 Indiana Infantry Regiment petitioned Congress for her pension, which was granted. With many acts like this, slowly, we learned who and what we were, the true children of Israel. Do you know how often a white man was arrested and charged with murdering our people? If they did go to trial, an all-white jury would acquit them. The Ku Klux Klan threatened Francis Marion Boyer. A married man with a family attended Morehouse College and Fisk University and was a teacher in Georgia. While in college, he learned about the Southern Homestead Act of 1866 and its requirements. It allowed selling land for low prices so Southerners could afford the land, but only free blacks and white Unionists could buy it. Boyer's father was a Buffalo soldier during the Mexican-American War. As a child, he heard stories about vast lands in the New Mexico territory free of persecution from whites, but the land was far away. Even though Boyer was free and educated, he didn't own transportation, so he walked to New Mexico. Boyer and another man named Dan Case packed small bags and walked from Georgia to New Mexico to start a new life. It took them almost a year to walk the 2,000 miles across the southern region of the United States. When Boyer arrived in New Mexico in 1900, he took a job as a cook on a chuck wagon, a ranch hand, and would send for his family a year later. They settled in a nearby neighborhood called Roswell but started their own town, Black Dome. After 3 more years, Boyer and 12 other black homesteaders would create the Black Dome Town City Company to create a self-sustaining community free of white persecution. Boyer and his family offered housing for newcomers and promoted free living for blacks. His family also made education a priority in the town. Black Dome established a church that was the home of the town's community school. And 5 years after that, Black Dome had become a famous black town with 300 residents, local businesses, and a newspaper. The town of Black Dome would find its growth stunted, but in the drought of 1916 and bitelate 1920, the city of Black Dome was no more. You say it took us 400 years, from 1919 until 2019, to awaken out of our sleep. Sabaoth always cared for us, even when we didn't know we were his, but it took great pain and many deaths. But I am well aware of the great people of your history and Africa as a whole. Abooksigun felt he was talking too much, but telling people what he knew felt good. His family thought he hadn't listened, but he was proud of himself and wished his family was there to see him. I'm sorry, I'm just running off at the mouth. The twins shook their heads. Akun insisted, no, go on. These were words Abooksigun had never heard before, and he got excited. I know about King Amenhotep and his temple of millions of years, but the most impressive king to me was Abubakar II, known as Abubakar and Abubakar II. But I refer to him as Mansa Musa II. Who once ruled the Mahali Empire in West Africa. The force behind the African arrival to the Americas before that struck the called Columbus. Abubakar is said to be the son of Kolonkan, sister of Sundiata Keita, also known as Sundiata Keita and Soundiata Keita. The founding emperor of the Great Mahali Empire in West Africa. He gave up his throne to Mansa Musa I to pursue his belief that the Atlantic Ocean, similar to the river Niger, had another bank. Abubakar funded a 200-boat expedition to find the bank during his rule. When only ownership returned, the captain reporting that a current swept the rest of the fleet away, prompting him to turn back. Abubakar put together a 200-boat expedition he helmed. It is believed that Abubakar, who never returned home, landed at what is now Recife in Brazil, and that some of his boats landed throughout the Americas, places like Mexico and Colorado. Many don't know that the tens of millions of Black Americans, or so-called Indians, who disappeared did not all die in the Holocaust inflicted on them by America. They shipped hundreds of thousands to Europe and Africa as Indian slaves. Abooksigun paused, I don't like that word, Indians, so I'll say, natives. You say, they gave us the whole slave trade story to all of us in reverse. They did not ship a mass colony of Africans from Africa to America. The truth is that many black natives were shipped from America to Europe, then shipped from Spain to Africa as a commodity for African resources. These black natives, now mistaken as African Americans, were sent back to America and classified as African slaves. Textual systems fail to mention this part of our history. Dung looked at Abooksigun and said, "You sound like your father." Abooksigun smiled and said, "I am my father and my brother's keeper." As Abooksigun continued, Linford Fisher of Brown University said that Native American slavery was the peak of the history of slavery that has been skipped. Because between 1992 and 1880, somewhere between 2 and 5.5 million Native Americans were enslaved in the Americas in addition to the 12.5 million African slaves. They had forced natives into slavery and servitude as early as 1636. It was not until King Philip swore that natives were enslaved in large numbers. New England colonies routinely shipped Native Americans as slaves to Barbados, Bermuda, Jamaica, the Azores, Spain, and Tangier in North Africa. The twins were intrigued by Abooksigun as he spoke confidently. Politely, Akunsimbel said, "Let me show you what we can do." She pointed at a tray and let out a yell, and the tray began to shake. Akutukananu joined in by holding her hands together and creating a small vortex, as clouds began to form above them but quickly dissipated away. Abooksigun saw what they could do but could tell they were not fully aware of their powers. "Impressive, but let's fast tomorrow, and I will show you what's about. Kando do you believe?" And they asked, "Will it help us believe?" And he said, "Sure it will." Shermake, trying to sleep, overheard bits and pieces of their conversation. He became frustrated. "Why do I have to believe in this on a god bullshit?" Bo growled at Shermake, but Abooksigun grabbed him. "Quiet, Bo." And politely said, "Because when you only believe in yourself, you are filled with selfish desires." Offended, Shermake said, "And what's wrong with that?" Abooksigun continued, "I will not answer that, but I will ask you. How many friends did you have? Not associates, but friends?" Shermake talked for a few minutes. "If you put it like that, none. I'm a slave." Abooksigun, with a smile on his face, "I will say nothing else." Seeing the smile on Abooksigun's face, Shermake rudely said, "Enough of this witchcraft and foolishness. I served my ancestors, and this craziness must stop. Where is this place you call home, boy?" Abooksigun didn't hear Shermake but talked about his sisters, Jala and Anaya, calling him "Lil Boy." he got mad, ikome in peate, but to disrespect me one more time will be your last. If you don't believe or care not to listen, then say it in a way that doesn't disrespect me and make it that the last time you call me boy. If you had just added another adjective to boy, I would know. We say be saying this in the matter in which I am speaking now. Shermake was not expecting such a tone from him and apologized. I am sorry to have said something you dislike, but I been up all night keeping watch, hungry, and would like to sleep in peate. Abooksigun, looking at the young ladies, ni father's hometown is in Tallulah, Louisiana, just north of here. Maybe a week's walk or so from here. We can go there and be safe. Abooksigun calmed down and understood that Shermake had stayed up all night, and to be considerate, they walked outside and finished their conversation. That morning they all fasted except for Shermake. Abooksigun sighed. I am reminded of the prophecy of the prophetess, Akila Malek, saying, they refuse to listen to the truth but prefer error and lies. Like children, they turn their hearts to fables and myths that entertain and distract from reality. They say, the planet is dying a slow and painful death. From within. They told me future generations of children are being slaughtered in wars through scientific experiments and horrific abuse. Women, the planet's future, are under direct attack because they are its populators. The plagues of the mind, body, and spirit have overrun the world, and there is little hope of saving it because man refuses to repent and embrace the true and living Creator. They say the Nephilim, the fallen ones of old in Genesis chapter 6 and the book of Enoch, have returned in many ways through human surrogates. The betrayal of God and the ancestors who came before folk to preserve the truth for our generation. The children whose heritage and survival depended on our faithfulness to righteousness and justice. The laws of life have caused the soil of the earth and all its life forms to cry to heaven for help. An answer is coming soon. There will be storms, tsunamis of unprecedented strength, ice storms, firestorms, and volcanic activity. Earth will be shaken from one side to the other. Entire continents will disappear. Oceans will rail, and lightning will, they say, walk the earth as if alive because of the altered electromagnetic channels under the earth. Everything is thrown entirely out of sync. The Church of Jesus Christ, empowered by the Ruach HaKodesh or Holy Spirit, was meant to create portals over the earth where the power of God could be channeled to maintain a balance of communication between heaven and earth. But many of those channels have been corrupted and mutated spiritually. That is, it isn't God's voice and power man are hearing but that of the beast and his system. Reaching into his backpack, he took out his Torah. These are the words that keep us in about grace, our guide, and our instructions for life. For centuries we have followed men and women who call themselves servants of Sabbath because they fail to read it for themselves and trust the deceitful words of others. Both men and women are essential to Sabbath, not just the men, and today we shall fast in what we call a holy Geneto sex about Sfate and Grate. They read the Torah and prayed until noon. On the third day, the twins spoke in words he interpreted as holy, holy is his name, and they were enlightened. Abooksigun was excited and sighed, enlightenment is finding or retrieving your gift, but true enlightenment is mastering that gift. Sex about, and he'll show you your gift and how to use it, as they praised about, Dung saw a group of men coming in their direction, interrupting them. A group of men is going. Big Mau got up and walked around. Chilled, that's enough for to die. I ain't sat down in on a spot for so long me as Donne went to sleep. Your great-grandfather ruled over the land in Arizona with the 12, many believed and were enlightened. But Tallulah lived without a ruler. Our rulers were our fathers or grandfathers, so we were governed on an individual family basis. It united us to a certain degree, but many left who didn't understand or agree with about why when the people from Arizona came here. Regardless, if they had conflicts with the enemy, we had conflicts too. They are still our brothers and sisters. But I can say this, even if they disagreed, some of their children agreed and were enlightened. Anyways, child, come help me clean up before you head out. Big Mau grabbed Carl the dirty dishes as Kush ran some dishwater. He overheard Big Mau singing, trying Times brings us much frustration, such aggravation. Who understands our plight? Who can answer the questions why? It's troublesome. Me misfortune. I'm not ashamed to say, sometimes it feels like I'm going crazy. Kush laughed, go ahead, Big Mau. She just smiled, chilled place. No, my favorite song is A Change is Gonna Come, with that boy Sam Koke. Come, sing it with me. Big Mau dramatically sang, he was born by the river, in a little tent, and just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming. But I know a change gonna come. Kush jumped and sighed, oh yes, it will. It's been too hard living. But I'm afraid to dear. His singing impressed Big Mau because she had never heard Kush sing, and she let him finish the song and felt every word he sang. Boy, you can sing. Blushing, Kush sighed, gone on, no, Big Mau.